Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into the video, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Let's dive in. My name is Julia. I used to think trust was something you build once and never question again. What if your closest friend was the reason your husband walked out without a word? I learned the hard way. Even love built on years of marriage can break under doubt. My husband Eric and I had been together 12 years. Met in college. Survived tight budgets. Career changes. The chaos of raising two kids. Through it all, we were a team. Until a friendship I thought was innocent became the wedge we never saw coming. My closest friend, Daniel, was in my life long before Eric. Grew up in the same small town. Shared inside jokes that spanned decades. Treated each other like siblings. When Eric and I married, Daniel made the toast at our wedding. Joked he'd finally been replaced as my favorite person. Eric laughed that night. But as years passed, his comfort turned to quiet unease. Daniel visited often. Dropped by with coffee. Helped with repairs. Joined family dinners. I thought it was harmless. Eric thought it was too much. Have you ever ignored a warning until it was too late? One evening, after Daniel left, Eric sat at the kitchen table. Hands folded tightly. "Julia," he said quietly. "I need to say something. I don't want it to sound like jealousy." His tone caught me off guard. "Okay," I replied. He took a breath. "I think Daniel cares about you more than as a friend. And I think you know it too." I laughed nervously. Thought he was exaggerating. "Eric, come on. Daniel's practically family." But Eric's eyes didn't waver. "That's exactly what worries me. He's too close. I've seen the way he looks at you." His words stung. Not because I agreed, but because they made me question something I never wanted to. For the next few weeks, I noticed what I hadn't before. Daniel's compliments that lingered too long. His tone softening when he said my name. How he always showed up when Eric was away on business trips. I didn't want to believe it. But a small voice whispered Eric might be right. Still, I convinced myself Daniel was just kind. That I was imagining tension. I didn't want to lose either of them. The comfort of friendship. The trust of a husband. But balancing both soon became impossible. One Saturday, Daniel dropped by unannounced while Eric mowed the lawn. We sat in the living room. Sipped tea. Talked about nothing. Then he said something that froze my heart. "You know," he began quietly, "if things were different, I think we'd make a good pair." I laughed awkwardly, hoping to brush it off. But he didn't smile. "I'm serious, Julia. You deserve someone who really sees you." The room went still. Before I could respond, Eric walked in. Sweaty. Dirt-streaked. Expression unreadable. He must have heard enough. Didn't say a word. Just turned and walked upstairs. That night, he didn't confront me. Barely spoke. The silence between us stretched like an invisible wall. When I tried to explain nothing happened, he nodded. "I know." But his eyes said something distant. Tired. Over the next days, he became quiet. Left for work early. Came home late. Then one morning, I woke to his side of the bed empty. A note on the dresser. It wasn't long. Just a few lines. "I need space to think. Please don't call. I'll reach out when I'm ready." My hands shook as I read it. He'd taken little, just a small suitcase and his phone. The days that followed were the longest of my life. I called Daniel. Told him firmly we couldn't see each other anymore. He sounded regretful. Said he hadn't meant to cause trouble. But the damage was done. Every corner of the house reminded me of Eric. His coffee mug. His jacket on the chair. The sound of his laugh in memory. I tried to focus on the kids. Keep life normal. Though my heart broke quietly in the background. 2 weeks later, a letter in the mailbox. From Eric. He'd gone to stay with his brother upstate. The letter was honest. Raw. Full of pain. "Julia, I don't hate you. But I couldn't stay and watch something I didn't understand. I need to know you see what I've been feeling. Not jealousy. But I can't fight for us alone." His words cut deep. I realized I'd spent so much time defending what I thought was innocent. I ignored how it looked. How it made him feel. I wrote back immediately. Poured everything out. How I never meant to hurt him. How I now saw the small cracks I'd ignored. How I wanted us to start over, with honesty, not assumptions. For days. No reply. Then one afternoon, folding laundry, I heard the front door open. I turned. There he was. Tired. Quiet. But home. He looked at me a long moment. Then said softly, "I just needed to know you still choose me." We talked for hours that night. I told him everything about that conversation with Daniel. How it ended. How I finally realized emotional boundaries matter as much as physical ones. Eric listened. Tears in his eyes. When he took my hand, I felt the first spark of healing. It took months of counseling. Slow rebuilding. But we made it through. Daniel moved away. Life found its rhythm again. Sometimes I still think how close we came to losing everything over something that started with friendship, ended in misunderstanding. And whenever someone asks what kept us together, I tell them this. Love isn't destroyed by one mistake. It's destroyed by silence. Speak before the distance becomes too wide.